reports. I see since we have Jonathan and Eric with us. First one is the data system. I don't know if either one of you have anything to report on it, but
John actually just sent an email to everyone. Butch Nealon is held up again because of, I think he said Orleans and Eastham have been out of power due to the high winds. And I found out this morning that MEMA expects those winds to continue for the next 24 to 48 hours. Their highest gust was this afternoon in P-Town at 78 miles an hour, and sustains winds at 20 to 25 miles per hour. So Butch is dealing with that, but by the end of next week, he should be completed with the SCADA system.
okay. All right. Great. I know about the winds. We had them here last night as well. So it was,
Yeah.
we only got to 55 miles an hour here.
And you're up on like a mountain over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about where we hit up here in and around Grafton. It was pretty good too.
Yeah. All right, well, that's fine on the SCADA system. I didn't expect that we would have much more, so maybe we could just transition right into the discussion on the meters. And thank you, Eric, for sending over that information.
I might just have a couple of small tweaks regarding scope, exclusionary items, and just final approval by my CFO. But I did pass everything by our general manager the end of last week, and made a couple of adjustments yesterday and just put it into the draft form. At least you can kind of see where we're at on things. I don't expect any significant changes unless they're requests or recommendations from you and the board.
So, yeah, my understanding, Eric, was that the plan was to do this on a rolling basis. Not all in 1 year or anything, but this would be we would schedule this out as meters need to be replaced and that we're able to complete the whole project. But we anticipated it would be like up to 3 years to do that. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think with 300 meters, it would be, basing it on 300 meters now and knowing that we have other projects and expansions that you're working on in town, but we should be well within our capability to get that done within the 2-year time frame. And who knows, I think we have the opportunity to make some good progress this year. And then it leaves us some time next year for some cleanup of additional meters, but we would be well positioned to complete 300 in the next 2, but we spread the finances out for the town over the 3-year period.
Okay. Let me ask, the total that the estimated total that you have there, does that include the labor costs then? It
does. That's all inclusive. That's everything. The meters, the reading equipment, the belt clip monitors we had initially looked at, and at the suggestion of Ty Sales, the subscriptions associated with it, the staff and supporting work to help coordinate setting up the meter, appointments and everything else. So, the exclusionary items, if there, we have issues with shutoffs inside at the meters, and then we would look to be able to isolate at the curb stop, and that may not happen in conjunction with that visit. Like we might go through, and the idea would be to go and have a set group of anywhere from 6 to 10 appointments set throughout the course of a day, and to stay the course on those. And if we have shut off issues or something, we can come back with a scheduled focus effort with, doing shut offs at the curb stop and things like that to facilitate the meter swap outs if needed.
Yeah. So, what the next step for us to be here would be to agree that we want to proceed with this. And I would assume we probably want to make the board, the select board, aware of the fact that this is going to happen and it will impact on our budget. Is going to be spread out over the cost over 3 years, but still is about a $45,000 expense per year that we would need to build into our budget.
Mhm.
So, I raise that for Kateri and for Neil here now, that this something that we need to agree on, that we're going to take this in front of the
Oh, yeah, sure.
select.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
You have any comments, Neil?
No, sounds good to me.
All right. So I will get us in front of the select board at one of the upcoming meetings so that we can incorporate it into the budget. And as we talk about budget today, we'll need to make sure that we incorporate that cost into our budget for the coming year. At least a third of it for the coming year. Any other comments or thoughts on this?
It's nice to get it settled.
Yeah. So I would assume we should, we need to take a vote to take this in front of the select board. Need a motion that we are going to take this proposal to in front of the select board, and in order to get it into the budget.
So move.
Second,
Second?
He's
second,
second.
Second, okay. So take a vote on that. Kateri,
Yes.
Neil,
yes,
and I agree, yes. Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is just a status report that came in from Paul Millette. I don't know if, are you able to put that up on the screen, Rebecca?
Yep, hang on, let me just find it for you. This is it, right?
Yes. Is that just the form or the report as well? So this is the environmental notification form, but this is one of the things that they did. But I thought that I had sent the status report to everyone as well. Let's see.
I might be able to find it easier if I look up through your name, because I have so many emails from him.
Yeah. I sent it this morning at 10 o'clock, 10:06.
Got it. There we go. Is this it?
So, Yeah, this is what we're looking at right now is the part of the report, which is the environmental notification form. So this form was completed. Maria Broadbent signed off on it, and it has been submitted to the state. And now it's just a process of waiting for approval on that. And as you can see, if you read into the status report, if you can move us to that. So at any rate, Paul had said that in his report, if we're able to pull that up, that the environmental notification form application has been prepared and submitted to the Executive Office of Environmental Assessment. This is the critical filing and will be reviewed by the Executive Office of Environmental Affairs after public comments are received. The Executive Office of Environmental Affairs will issue a determination within 6 weeks or so, stating that the project can move forward for further permitting review, and that an environmental impact report is or is not, whether or not an environmental impact report is required. Environmental Partners does not anticipate that such a report will be required, given the limited impacts that we identified in the environmental notification form. So that's the first thing that he had included in his report. The second item on there was that the field survey work is underway and will be finished this week by their surveyor, Coastal Engineers, and survey Orleans. Environmental Partners will have a base plan then of the existing conditions by March 19th. They will then start in 2 to 3 weeks, depending upon weather and Mass DOT approval, with drilling. We expect 3 to 4 days of drilling at various locations. But they are waiting for Mass DOT approval for that letter this week. And Environmental Partners expects to provide a design, excuse me, design submission to the Board of Water Commissioners, the DPW, and the Fire Department with a progress set of plans, 30% design plans, in the first 1 to 2 weeks of April. And then they will discuss the fire hydrant locations with the fire chief. Other permits that are necessary, the wetlands, we expect to submit the notice of intent to the Conservation Commission in mid-April for review. So that's essentially where they are at this point. Paul Millette believes they will be submitting an invoice to us within for a certain amount of the work within the next 2 weeks. So that's the report from Environmental Partners on the installation of the new water main. Paul is also still involved with us with respect to the skating. So as soon as that work is completed, he will review the invoice from Butch Nealon and recommend whether or not we should pay that. And that would then be charged against the housing choice grant that the 100,000 that we received. Any remaining funds from the housing choice grant would then be applied to the engineering work associated with water main installation. We anticipate that after the Butch's invoices will be somewhere in the range of 50,000, and given the expenses that have already been charged against that, we should have about 40,000 left that could be applied toward engineering costs associated with the water main installation. And the balance of the the engineering costs would then be charged against the Mass Works grant. And I believe we have a limit on that. I don't want to estimate that now because that we were given I think, very specific guidance with respect to the amount of grant that could be used. I want to say it was in the range of 225,000 for engineering services. So we have more than enough to cover what's anticipated at this point in the for the initial engineering work. So, any questions on that?
Nope.
So 25 Main Street, the application for water service there,
I can give you an update if you want.
25 Bank Street.
Bank Street.
Yeah, Bank Street. That
She
application
did.
is drawn.
Mhm.
You have a comment, Rebecca?
No, I was just going to say that, and I spoke to her. She was worried that I had cashed her check, and I said no, because I had a feeling you were going to withdraw your application. So I guess they're going to allow. I think she's putting in a separate well. So from what I understand, or they're going to allow her to use the existing well year round.
Right. Yeah, well, it makes sense that would happen. So. And I see that John is with us as well, and Jonathan. So if either of them have any comments with respect to Masonic Lane, I know the work was completed there.
That's correct.
And that included installation of essentially a new curb stop on Briar Lane. Then they connected from there up the driveway to Masonic. So are all the services now connected there on?
Yes, they are.
And are they actually using water from the water system at this point?
I believe so. I haven't heard back from Robert Hour, but I swung by today and the curb stop is on. They just never gave us a call after that they completed installing the meters on the inside. And I'm waiting for a call back from them, but yes, I believe they are because the curb stop is on.
I also reached out to Brian Montero from Robert Hour and asked him, I forwarded him the email that you sent to me this morning, Jonathan, and I just explained to them that they kind of have to give us a heads up. It's fine that they turned it on, but we need to know if it's been turned on or not, because you guys are waiting for some sort of heads up. So as soon as he gets back to me, I'll let you know, but I did forward him your email from this morning.
All right, great, thanks.
So I take it that all the meters are all installed at this point?
Yes,
Okay. And Rebecca, you have
Never
whatever.
asked, they just never called and said they needed Mike or Jonathan to go over and kind of check it out to make sure the meters were installed properly. I'm sure they were. Robert Hour knows what they're doing, but it's kind of the protocol that we've been using since we started this. And Brian's the only one from Robert Hour that hasn't really gotten in touch with us to let us know that it's done. I'm almost 100% certain it's completely done, but I did send him an email just asking him to, give me a heads up.
yeah, and that's where Mike and I were there, and when we met with the sales rep for the new meters, and we actually were all there when they installed the first one. They plan on doing the rest of them that day, so I agree with you.
So was there initial meter reading done then, or how does that work?
When they turn the meters on, they just use a magnet and swipe the side of them. Mike did not read the meters initially.
I'm pretty sure they all started at 0. So their next meter read will be in May, and they will get a meter read and a bill in May or June, depending on how quick we can get that moving and
Right.
hire my replacement.
Right. Okay. All right. I have nothing to report on Squire Pond Lane other than that we need to let John Prey and I had talked about this, and we need to let the realtor know that should one of the potential buyers want to install the municipal water to that property, that they would be responsible for bringing it down from Main Street, and where would be asking for a 2-inch main to be brought down there to the front of their property, cap it there, and put a curb stop in for them, but they would be responsible for the cost to do that. They're still waiting to hear from us, the realtor, as to what the impact would be. And I think they could, as I had said before, from one of the realtors, that they would talk to Corey Brundage about the estimate of what it would be to bring the water from Main Street down to that property. It's not that far. It's the first house on the lane after Main Street. The next item on here is a water service request at 120 Oak Ridge Drive. It's not Harwich, it's in
It's in Wellfleet.
Did I put Harwich there?
Yeah,
Clearly you know where I live.
yeah. You got the zip code right, but you,
Well, good for me.
yeah. And Mike did go over and take a look at that. There is Oak Ridge is on the old system. It's a 2-inch line that goes up Oak Ridge Drive that services the properties on Oak Ridge. This property is at the very end on the circle, and there is, from what we could tell, at least I haven't been back since the snow melted, but it appeared that there is a blow-off valve there. It was hard to tell whether or not there was a curb stop associated with that property. But in any regards, the town would be responsible for providing a curb stop if it's not there, because that's one of the properties that was impacted by the contamination at the landfill.
I did have a request today for a tie sheet for that property from the engineer. So I said I would get it to him by tomorrow.
We don't
by
have,
the end of this. I didn't think so, but I said I would look. Because I remember, I mean, we have a large book of tie sheets, but I don't remember seeing Oak Ridge
I
on
went
there.
through that and I did not find anything.
Okay,
in
all right,
that.
I will let him know.
So what I had said, I talked with a contractor who was working with them, told them that I recommended that they consider using either Robert Biauer or Corey Brundage to do the work there, because those are the only two contractors who have had experience in tapping water main, and would have the equipment to do that. I mean, they can install the line from the curb stop in. Any one of our approved plumbers can do that, but the others had not done any work on the water mains themselves. So that's why we had recommended that they consider using one of those to do that work.
There is no existing curb stop at the cul-de-sac?
I couldn't tell when I was over there, Neil, that it was under a snowbank.
I can tell with my equipment if there is a curb stop existing.
Well, there is, if you go over there and you to the end of the lane, and you'll see where this blow-off valve is, or, and that's where I think is the edge of their property, is right there, where that's located.
Well, I can check tomorrow and see if there is an existing curb stop.
But if there is, the pipe or the metal work there associated with the blow-off valve, it's metal. So would that cause your equipment to register?
The curb stop is in a steel or iron sleeve. And the equipment I have registers iron, not brass.
Okay,
So if there is a curb stop, I will get a signal.
okay. Well, that'd be great. John, do you have any comment on that?
I haven't been up there to have a look. That blow off runs pretty good up there, so you probably will have plenty of water. Other than that, I don't have any more to say.
There is one other residence that's right there on the circle, Neil.
Okay. Does that have a connection to the
As far
town
as I
water?
know, they do, yes. Yes.
Okay.
But kind of like the property that's in question is on the opposite side of the circle.
Okay.
And that's where the blow-off valve is too. So it looks like when they did this, when they put it in, that there was some plan. They brought the water, at least the line, across the circle to the opposite side where the blow-off valve is now.
Is there an existing house at
No.
There's not?
No,
So there is gonna be a house built there.
yes, and I'm talking to the contractor, they said that the house would probably be about 100 feet from the edge of the circle. Okay. So that's it on the various projects. So the next thing here is the proposed budget. And I'd really hoped that we would have had to have Kurt with us for this, because it also impacts on the budget for wastewater. Rebecca, do you know when budget has to go to the select board?
Because town meeting was moved back to June 5th, they're discussing the next, I think they meet with the school committee March 10th. And then they're going to ask to see you and wastewater together, because wastewater has a slideshow or a presentation that they wanted to give to the FinCom. When you're ready to, if you've gone over it and you guys are ready to present, I can get you onto the next agenda. It's totally up to you. We're trying to get it in front of the select board sooner rather than later, just because it tends to go to the select board at the last minute every year. And a few department heads have expressed their concern having it so late. So I'm hoping to have the budget in front of the select board by the first select board meeting in April.
So well, the reason I'm asking this is whether or not we should postpone the discussion of the budget until we have Kurt with us.
You can do that if you want, because what's your next scheduled meeting? Do you know?
Well, it could be 2 weeks out from now.
Right. The 16th of March, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, if you do that and make sure, I'll make a note when I send out the agenda to make sure that everyone needs to come to this meeting as you will be discussing your budget or the enterprise budget.
Right.
I can do that.
Yeah, and I think that because there's a couple of bigger items on this, including the, the transition to the Neptune meters, we need to incorporate that into the budget. So it would be my recommendation that we hold off on even discussion on this until we have Kurt and Tom with us, and make clear that that would be the primary agenda item for that meeting.
Okay. Can I interrupt a minute? Rebecca, you mentioned a new date for the town meeting. What was it in June?
June 5th at 10 a.m.
June 5th?
They're hoping to have it just like last year's, out in the field across from the elementary school with a big tent.
10 a.m. on Saturday, the 5th at 10 a.m. Okay.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
was good. That worked out well last time.
I thought so too, and it was very well put together. And we actually have our first town meeting planning committee meeting in 2 weeks.
Oh,
So we've learned the do's and don'ts of town meeting outside. So hopefully we'll fix those kinks and it will run more smoothly than it did the last time, which I thought it was great last time.
Mhm.
And it's before the end of the fiscal year, which will be a huge help to the accounting department.
Okay.
So if you're in agreement, I would suggest that we table the discussion of the budget until the 16th and we'll make sure ahead of time that we have Kurt and
Yeah.
Tom for that.
Or
meeting.
we can move the time, we change the meeting to accommodate him. Yeah,
Right, exactly, yeah. Is that okay with the two of you?
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Do you have, but right now, do either of you have questions on any of the materials that I sent regarding the budget?
nope.
I feel I'm always in over my depth when I look at things like this. The one thing that I didn't see mentioned on the agenda was the RFP for the financial consultant. Is there any progress on that?
I've got to get back in the office and pull the files at
Okay,
Mike Travato's office.
okay.
And because we had talked about a couple of different companies,
Yeah,
talking with Eric about that as well, that Abrams was one, and we had Ty and Bond out of Boston.
okay. Can we include that at our next meeting then?
Yes.
That'll be good.
So that's all I had. The other thing we had was the minutes from
The
the
two
meeting.
meetings, yeah, they looked okay to me. Nothing jumped out.
So start with a one from January 12th. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Oh, he got it. I'll second.
Okay, and I agree with that. So
Yeah.
let's call a vote. Catherine,
Pardon?
I call the vote now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, yes.
Aye? Is that an aye?
Yes.
Okay, Neil, okay. And I approve them as well. So
Exactly.
minutes of the meeting of the 12th.
Right.
And February 9th, do we have those in front of us too?
Yes, we do.
I didn't find them in my packets. Rebecca, can you put those up?
Yep, give me 1 second. February 9th, correct?
Yes. While you're doing that, I will ask Eric John, if for the meeting of the 16th, if we do not have anything other than the budget detail, then I would suggest that it wouldn't be necessary for you guys to be with us for that meeting unless you have an interest in going through the line items with regard to the budget.
Nope, all good there. Whatever. Like I said, if you need us, we're here. But no worries.
Okay, all right. So let's assume then that it'll be the single agenda item, which would be the budget. With the
Well, we
six-
also, the RFP.
And the RFP.
Yeah.
Okay, so here the, right. Okay. Any comments on the minutes?
I don't see anything.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, and I agree. So the vote, Kateri,
Yes.
Neil,
Yes.
and I agree. Yes. Okay, so the minutes of the 9th carry as well.
They're okay. Yeah.
So that's all I have for now on this. I hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I agree. So I take that we're all in agreement. So we stand adjourned. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you.